Simply Drawn here, and today we're drawing a polar bear wearing a scarf. We're actually starting with the nose, the black at the end, and it is a pentagon. It's 5-sided, so I did the top, 2 diagonal lines for the sides, and then that's really a V at the bottom. And I gave a little spot at the top that I'm going to leave a highlight, and I really left it pretty big because it disappears fast when you color in the marker. And I didn't want it to look exactly like a rectangle, so I divided it. But there's your nose. And then we're making actually a hexagon, an irregular hexagon around for the muzzle. So I'm starting with a little curved line at the top and a little curved line underneath. So they're directly above and below. So that's 2 sides, 3 sides, 4 sides, coming down. And see how they're even with the widest point of the nose? 5 and 6. But really, like however yours comes out, straight or curved, really all gives your bear a personality. Now I'm going to put the little eyes on there on either side of that hexagon, that irregular hexagon, the muzzle, and trying to keep them the same size, and a straight line down for the mouth. You could do anything for the mouth. Since mine was irregular shaped, I did a little half smile, and this curved line over the top really reaches over both eyes. So it just goes to the edge of the eyes, and that's how I decided where I'm going to put this little small ears on the polar bear, so they're like right over the outside of the eyes, and then the top part of the ear, and they're a little bit smaller where they attach to his head versus around the top, but they're still pretty small as a polar bear. And the 2 sides down for his head, and they have a gentle curve out. And now I'm going to put on the scarf, because we're just going to make him silly and fun wearing a scarf. And it goes out beyond him, because remember, he's wearing it. It's wider than him, and I'm trying to keep the scarf the same size, top to bottom. You don't need to worry about those little lines there where he comes down, because that's going to get camouflaged in with some pattern. So this is where it's wrapped around. I did 2 parallel lines, and then 2 parallel lines top and bottom. So it's really a rectangle. And we're going to add what's hanging down on the scarf. I apologize, it came out of view a little bit, but you'll get the idea. You saw what was most needed. So it's the same scarf. So it's as wide as the piece that's around his body. And now I'm going to fill it with lines to then add pattern. And I'm trying to keep these equal distance, but because it is wrapped around you, it's not perfect. So don't stress if it's not perfect, right? And then where it's wrapped around and over, they're going to go another direction. And these where it's hanging down, right, it's going horizontally versus vertical of where it's wrapped around them in the first spot. And again, I'm trying to keep them even. I tried to have these 2 not line up so that it would fit and look good when we add in our pattern. And like I said, my little fringe is going out of the screen, but you can get the idea. And here is a good stopping point, but I do love line techniques. I do love pattern. So I'm going to be filling my scarf with a pattern where I'm doing horizontal lines, leaving a space, horizontal lines. And I actually kind of count as I go through how many lines I'm putting in each section. And it just kind of helps me keep them a little bit more the same. And then right where the scarf is hanging down, they had to switch to vertical. And right there, that's where I tried to make sure they didn't match up perfect. And then in the other section, I decided to do dots. Again, like I said, I kind of count as I go down and put my dots. So whatever was vertical before ended up horizontal in that little spot. And again, another stopping point, but I decided I wanted to add some color, so I gave him some cute little pink cheeks. Again, totally optional. And then I added some color to the scarf, and you could definitely add more. I try to keep the video short. And lastly, I decided I didn't feel it was quite done yet, so I added some little snow coming down. First I add little circles, so there's a dot, a bigger dot, and a drawn circle. And I do my things in clusters of 3, so make sure I have some rhythm and repetition going on with it. And then I added some bigger snowflakes. I kind of make them funny. They're kind of like a V sideways and the straight line down to be the 6 points of the snowflake. And again, you didn't need to add that part, but. And lastly, I had a silver marker, so I gave them a little highlight in the eyes. And there you have it.